This is Jeff Gibbert of True Voice Media, and I'm here with Rachel Luxemburg of Adobe.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. So we're going to talk about a few things. You just did a presentation, and we talked in your talk. You touched a little bit on Instagram, and somebody asked you a question, and I think it's a great question that everybody out there needs to see the answer to, and that's what's better, to be first or to be best?
Yeah, that was a great. Do you want me to take this?
No.
Okay, great. That was a great question, and I definitely feel that being best is far, far better than being first. I think that's an impulse that comes from a lot of people in social media. Started out their lives in journalism and PR, and they have that instinct. I got to break the news. I got to be first, and it's totally understandable. But taking that extra 5 minutes to get it right, or even 10 minutes, or however many minutes it takes to get it right, is, I think, far more important when you're talking, particularly when you're talking about a visual medium like Instagram. Getting it right is always incredibly important, because what's right there is the photo quality.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about the photo quality. Photo quality I know is one of your pet peeves. Talk to me a little bit about some of the things that you've seen that just set you off a little bit, and why is that? Talk to me about photo quality on Instagram.
Well, so I just have to say, as a passionate amateur photographer, I care a lot about photo quality, which is why I came to talk about Instagram. And I picked on Adobe, actually, as we did it. When we first started doing our Instagram account, we were doing a lot of our shots like straight out of people's cell phones. And we'd be like, okay, here's day in a life at Adobe, and click with the cell phone. But when you look at the photos, the photo quality was just awful. I mean, cell phone cameras are really good in certain circumstances. We've all seen really good cell phone camera photos, but we've also seen a lot of really bad ones. Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about a visual medium like Instagram or like Twitter or even Facebook, quality matters. And as screens are getting better and photos are getting better, people care about quality. So I always believe that a good quality photo is much more important than just getting it on the phone and getting it out onto your social network channels. My pet peeve is, the pet peeve I went off on in my session was get a real camera and use it, especially if you're doing something indoors or in a low light situation, or if you need it to be fast and you don't want someone's hands blurring in the photo. It really makes a difference when you take those extra 5 or 10 minutes to get the quality photo, get it out of the camera, get it onto your computer, onto your phone, and get it uploaded. It makes a huge, huge difference in what in the quality of the content, because it says something about your brand. When what you're putting out there, that quality says something about you, and it says that you care enough to take a good photo and not just any old photo. So for me, it's a huge, huge pet peeve, but also I think there's some strategic importance in getting it right.
So high quality photos,
yes,
definitely better than low quality iPhone camera, and I love my iPhone camera, but hashtag get a real camera. So let's talk a little bit about this.
Okay, one exception I will say is that guy who did the photo of the airplane in the Hudson River with his cell phone, he gets a pass.
Fair enough. So if you happen to witness a major event and you don't have to go run, you get a pass. Okay. So, but let's talk a little bit quickly about photo quality in terms of the networks that are currently available and where you see opportunities. When you take a picture and you put it on Instagram, they're going to downsize it. And we have all of these opportunities for places to put photos and videos. We've got Instagram, we've got Vine, we've got Flickr, we've got Google+, we've got Twitter, we've got Facebook, we've got all these different networks. Mm-hmm. They have different ways of handling it. Where do you see the real opportunity over the next couple of years in using rich media photos and videos?
Well, there's a ton of opportunity. I mean, Google+, for example, is hugely popular in the photographer community. There are literally your average, ordinary working photographers on Google+ who have 1 million followers. It's incredible how active that community is in Google+. But I think what really matters is where is your audience, and what do they care about? Is your audience on Instagram? Then go on Instagram. Instagram engagement is huge. Instagram gets more videos shared than Vine. So, I think Instagram specifically is something I call out as a sort of a rising star in the big four. I think people tend to undervalue Google+. They tend to go, oh, it's a ghost town. But I think for the right audience, it's absolutely someplace you need to look at. And if you're in that community, and if your community is there, then it's a great place to play. And Google+ has a ton of great features for photographers. And they don't downsample, and they don't do some of the things the other networks do. We've done some work with Flickr over the years. We still use Flickr. The community isn't quite there so much anymore, but it's a great place to share photos out after an event and have an ongoing repository, so that there's value in a lot of different networks, and you really just have to take a look at what is it you're trying to do and what's the best tool for the job. But we're very bullish on pretty much all of the major channels. We love Twitter, we love Instagram, we love Google+, and of course Facebook's the big gorilla.
Yep. So let's just finish this off with one real quick thing. I want you to give 2 quick tips of ideas that companies can use for either Instagram or Vine that can provide them with some sort of value to use these networks and really put out top-notch content. What can they use it for?
Well, if we're talking about videos, I think the simplest thing any company can do of any size is go for snackable how-tos. People love, quick and easy tutorials, how-tos, tips and tricks. You can do them quick. You don't need a tremendous amount of production value to do them, and everybody loves them. They have great search value. So if you've got to focus on one thing and you've got a limited budget, focus on how can you make the best tips, tricks, and tutorials and share those out.
Sounds good to me. This has been Jeff Gibbard of True Voice Media here at the Social Media Strategy Summit Chicago.